Why is the stream offline?
I just fixed it. Sorry about that. The mic issue. It's the only way it would fix.
Shit. Okay. All right. Well, if we're back online, Warden, you said the team's record doesn't get in your head, but last time you played reliable, you said on stream that you guys always choke against iBuyPower. I mean, I don't know if it was you or Moses, but what is it about iBuyPower specifically?
They're just really damn good, dude. I mean, I could share and shoot smoke up your ass and say, other things. But I mean, honestly, individually, every one of those players is pretty much better than us. So it makes things. I feel like sometimes tactically we outplay them and then lose the round because they just dominate us. I mean, that's all there is to it. Those guys are an amazing team. They proved themselves by winning ECA land, which honestly I think shocked everybody, including me. And I'm honest. Like when someone wins a land and does well, I'm giving them props. I have no ego when it comes to that. Days of them played really good, and I mean, I think they're stronger online, but that doesn't mean I think they're cheating. I just think they're that confident at home, and they're really hard to play against. So I mean, sometimes when we go up against them, they just rape us.
I think Skadoodle scares a lot of people. He gets a lot of entry picks in a lot of rounds.
I just remember like when Go first started, and then that whole lineup of Michael 3D, Emung, Juvenile, TM, and our Skadoodle came out, and they just went 15-1 in Invite the first season. I'm like, who are these people? See, I didn't even know who Skadoodle was, and now he's coming in this game, and he's probably, like you said, one of the best. Or no, it was Shaver who said his probably one of the best offers in NA, if not the best offer.
I mean, yeah, Skadoodle plays a little different on land, but as he proved, he can still get kills on land. I think his confidence level drops quite a bit, but I mean, he still was a monster at land. But he just doesn't peak the same way he does online. But I mean, what are you gonna do? Maybe he's just way more confident at home. But I mean, he's still a really good player, and he put out frag production for them at land. So,
what's TM? I mean, I know you're not TM, but I just want. TM was one of the Call of Duty guys that came over with them, right? Like that.
Yeah.
Were direct to invite.
Yeah.
Did he have any Counter-Strike experience before that?
TM no, but this was a brand new game when they transferred. So
yeah, it's true.
So it was kind of even playing field. Maybe we had tactically and some ideas a little stronger than them, but as far as like aim and learning the game, movement, stuff like that, they were on the same level.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, what's it like having, on your team these three other invite, or these 1.6 legends, including yourself being one of those legends, and then you have somebody who's new to the whole Counter-Strike. Does that play a role? You kind of answered the question.
TM picks it up really well. Like, he's smart like that. I have criteria before I pick anybody up on the team. It's not just, about being able to kill people, but you got to be able to play within the function of a team. And TM has done his job to a T. Every time I ask him to do something, he knows his smokes, he knows his flashes, doesn't make mistakes, executes the strat perfectly. So he's really picked up how to play Counter-Strike, and I think he's learned a lot from us, and I think we've learned some things from him as well. So I think it's been a mutual good relationship for our team.
I think it might have even been a little bit easier for those people with a little bit of a clean slate. I remember when I started playing Go, coming from Source, I would throw these flashes that worked in Source, and I'd think to myself, why aren't you blind? Like throwing flashes outside long or something. And I always had these flashes in my head that were like, okay, I can use this as a flash or that. None of them worked, and it was really frustrating for me because I was like, I don't know how to take B site anymore, and doing things that I think would work and expecting an outcome of this guy should be blind but he's really not, and it was really difficult transitioning over. So I think you're right. The even playing field from someone with a clean slate, not knowing exactly what's going on, and just being able to be smart and play the game, transfer over, easy transfer definitely.
Yep, just new games make it a lot easier for sure.
Coming from the 1.6 side, throwing those grapefruit.
Well, Mega Man, your mic's like way messed up. Can't hear you.
Because it's at my head.
There we go.
I was saying, or you said about the Source, coming from 1.6, I feel like was an even bigger differentiation in the game, because, talking about throwing nades where, you had like a 2-second delay on throwing your watermelon at somebody's face.
Yeah. I think Source is helping us in this game with the set smokes, and then 1.6 has probably helped us a lot with just the teamwork and tactics, just being able to trade and stuff.
No, I agree 100% on that. You can tell the people, it's funny because like the end of Source, the run and gun era of Source, that's kind of helped players One specifically comes to mind for me, and that's Roka. Where he was dominant towards the end of the Source era, and he came into CS:GO as an extremely good player because of the changes that they made at the end of Source. And then you've got your old fart 1.6 players like, you and myself here, Warden, where that transition might have been a little bit more difficult. You had the Source background, I didn't have it, so for me it was just like, why the hell am I not getting headshots?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not dissing Roka. I think he's a young talent, good player, but just like I said, when I pick up for my team, I look at other things besides just like fragging ability. Like, can he calm? Is his teamwork good? Does he bait? Like, there's just a lot of different factors. Is his fucking personality able to take a 5-loss night and not freak out on somebody? Like, because, I mean, there's been plenty of nights you 5-scrim and we've got completely shit on. And we go to bed, we still had a good time, and we come back the next day and possibly win. Like, it's just, you got to have that stability. I think we're the only roster now in Invite to keep this roster for the last 2 seasons consecutively. And, I mean, I don't really plan on changing it or anything like that. So I wish some other NA teams would, kind of take notes and not look for the next best thing and just pick up and work hard, and maybe we might be able to accomplish something.
Well, it's interesting that you say, the 5-loss nights, because when Schaefer was in here, he touched on that about, the roster shakeups and everything that have been going on all season. And it's not just in Invite, it's in every division, obviously. But people take more note when it's in Invite. And, he was talking about, you lose 4 or 5 scrims in a row, and people on the team are going, oh shit, we need to change something. And they look to the roster rather than looking to the players on the team in regards to, all right, maybe this person isn't fit to play the specific role that we had them play. Maybe we should put them in a different role.
No, it's not even so much that. I just think that's immaturity within, like, we've been there, done that. We know, like, a lot of the time when we're losing, it's not necessarily one person to blame, and it's not necessarily a strat to blame. We could run a strat perfectly fine, have smokes and bomb down, and not hold the site. So what do? Start blaming the strat when it worked perfect? No. You just played like shit and you lost. Move on. Like, that's a lot of the attitude we come up with a lot of the time, because there's no point, like, literally just sitting here making excuses when everything worked fine.
I just want to say real quick to the stream, I just told Prius, who's a league admin at ESEA, who has the contact at CSGO Lounge, that U5 has won, so he'll be reporting that, so that should be fixed for you guys who are waiting for your skins shortly.
I think that, like you said, one of the biggest things is immaturity. And I'm not saying that anybody who kicks somebody off a team is immature. I'm just saying that the whole blame game, people are on the internet and they don't know anything. It's like, I played sports throughout high school, and you can't leave your team. You can't just be like, oh, we need a new third baseman, let's pick someone else up. You had to play with your team, and you had to be nice to each other. You can't just be like, how the fuck do you miss that shot? Or, playing the blame game. And I think that once you're on like a nice, comfortable team, not only do you play better as an individual, you play better as a team by not playing that blame game or trying to have this big shadow over you saying, oh, if you don't make that shot, you're cut. And it makes it difficult for some of these upcoming players to have so much pressure on them because how the community is. And I find it myself difficult. I've been playing this game for not as long as you guys, but a pretty long time.
I mean, I agree. It's just, I've seen it for years, and it's kind of really sickening, to be honest, because some of these teams I feel like they have a good mix of players, some good, like maybe one lurker, some good aggressive players, and a strat caller, and they end up just breaking down after 2 months because people just can't tolerate people, and it's just a shame, and it's been going on far too long. And Cole and I by Power are pretty stable. Yeah, they just had that roster shakeup, but for the most part they keep their roster pretty stable, so I'm not really addressing them. But just so many mix-ups below that in us. Like, it's just crazy. It happens all day, every day. After the season, I'm sure several players will go on the market. There'll be several team switches, and people will try again. And it's just retarded when you just need to find a group of 5 people you like playing with. You agree they're all on the same skill level and just advance. Like, there's no point really changing players unless you have some kind of huge personality conflict.
I think your team's a prime example of that. Like, the way you guys retook the site tonight, no team that just picks up 2 random people could ever do that. I don't think that's something that you can learn within 2 weeks. I think that takes a lot of team effort, knowing how each other play, and take the words from Warden here and stick together as teams and make something happen with it. Stop cutting your teammates or leaving or whatever it is.
Honestly, no matter what I say, things will never change. North America has kind of been like plagued like that for a long time, and I don't see it changing. I mean,
I
it's
think
just
I think Deborn and Kanji Miniker are like the version of you Storm and XP3 though, because they've been together for a long time too. Aren't you guys like? I mean, I know you and Warden, as Mega Man has said under his Mo impression, that you have been playing together for 57 years.
yeah.
It's been about that long.
Do you see anybody else that has that same chemistry that you two do? I mean, like,
I don't think it's so much in-game chemistry because honestly, we learn stuff every day. It's not so much like we're just like all chemmed out. It's more like I know Tyler, and if Tyler wants to get aggressive on me and like verbally abuse me because I fucking did something wrong, I'm not gonna snap back because I have that mutual respect for him. Like Tyler can say anything to me about my gameplay, and I'm not gonna get butthurt because I have that much respect for what he values. And now, if somebody ever tried to do what Tyler does to me sometimes when I fuck up royally, that would be a blowout on another team, and that's the big difference.
would you say Tyler's your best friend?
I mean,
What
sure.
is that? I think that's the end of the interview right there. Come on, man.
That's what somebody asked. I was making a joke.
I mean, he's, I have a lot of good friends in real life, and he lives in Arkansas. But I mean, play with him 5 days a week, and he's definitely somebody I would invite to my wedding. Like he's one of my best friends for sure.
Yeah, so
He's asking you on a date, dude. Is
Yeah,
he your
man.
best friend, or do you have some rum in there for me?
somebody asked. No. I mean,
All
it's
right,
just,
that's got to be it for the interview right there.
No,
That is
listen.
just whoa.
Warden, how important is mid control for your strats across the maps? Is there any particular map where you don't like taking mid control and focusing on other areas?
I've been calling strats now for like the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks. David just kind of got tired of it and needed a break, and honestly, I think he's utilized better. But as far as like mid control, I guess you're speaking about Mirage, maybe Dust 2. I think it's important, but only if teams are stacking. So like, for instance, if we're hitting A a lot and teams are stacking A on us, it's very important to leave doubt that we could come up mid. So we do have some mid strats to where, you can't just completely cheat 8 on us. But I mean, honestly, it's just a game of fucking flipping coins sometimes, dude. Sometimes you got their number and you're outplaying them, and the timing's right and you're hitting the right sites that aren't numbered up, and sometimes you're running into stacks, and it's not always like cut and dry where you can avoid a stack. Like if a team's gonna push B halls and you're not there and clear it, you're gonna get screwed more than likely, and that's just the nature of Counter-Strike, and that's why we try to do a lot of our executes fairly quick, because we don't want to run the risk of some guy pushing off cat and flanking our mid, or pushing our B and clearing it and saying, hey, they're all going A, stack A. So I mean, just a little insight to that. I don't necessarily think mid control is like some absolutely vital thing.
Well, it's fascinating that you said that, because when you guys were playing on your terrorist side, there was actually a couple of rounds that I saw that Desi on Mediocre Gamers was actually pushing A Hawes, and Schaefer touched on this a little bit, where, that was actually allowing them to throw an extra guy over towards B, or at least rotate, maybe a little bit out of sight and towards connector, because he's cleared out, 20% of the map, so that cuts down on the amount of area that you guys have to work with on your T side. What do you like to touch on the whole, way that you guys are running your strats? Now, I don't think we ever saw a strat on your guys' T side, with the exception of maybe one round where you guys actually utilized Palace, but
that was like, only because normally we do. I'm going to be honest with you. Normally David's there, but remember he saved that op on 3rd round. So if he was AK'd up, he would have definitely been in Palace. But for whatever reason, we got the op. We were going to let him work mid with the op. And that was the only reason you didn't see that. And then the half was fairly short after that. So you definitely would have seen David in Palace XP3 if the match would have continued.
Gotcha. So it's interesting to see how that one weapon save, I'm not saying that he would have gotten picked off, but you would have had a one-on-one situation up there in the Palace area between him and Desi, most assuredly, at least twice during that.
I feel very comfortable with David's ability to hold Palace. He's been pretty much a rock for us over there in the scrim. So
the guy's nuts. I watched your guys' Dust 2 match, and he was hitting some ridiculous shots.
He's an amazing player. He came from Shoot Mania, where he was winning LAN tournaments. He has a very strong 1.6 background. He arguably played with weaker players and beat stronger teams all the time on LAN. I don't think he gets the props he deserves. He's one of our best, and I think he's probably the best North American pistol user. Like, it's just watching him play every day with the pistol is literally like jaw dropping.
Well,
All right.
there you go. If I was to sign up a 1v1 or a 2v2 pistol aim map player, I'd definitely sign him up with me. Let him carry.
I'd have him first.
We're gonna get you out of here real quick. I don't want to hold you up too much longer, but I'm sure you've been asked this many times. But is there, and you may not know the answer, but are we to expect a comeback from fraud anytime in the future?
No, not necessarily. Danny's working. The whole reason he stepped down was because he still has the same job he has, and he wants to get on, late, like 8 or 9 Eastern, and get off by like 10 or 11 Eastern. So that leaves us like an hour or 2 hours of prac, and we weren't really happy with that. And being the competitor he is, he realized and just stepped down. So until he gets a new job or a different situation, I don't really see him coming back. But we miss him. He's a really good guy, really good teammate, and a really good player. So it's kind of a shame, but that's life.
Right on, and I don't really see any other questions in chat aside of people boasting about skins. So congrats to those that won those by putting them on United 5 tonight. Do you gentlemen have any other questions for Warden?
I think it's time we let him get on his way. Thank you so much, Matt, for coming in.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, Warden, we greatly appreciate your time. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to RGN TV tonight. United 5 taking the win 16-7. It's been a blast being here. I'd like to thank Hayno for coming along with me with great color commentary, Schaefer as well for joining us, and of course Mega Man for coming in with the assist for the post game, and David as always for being a badass. So guys, thanks again for tuning in. My name is Matt Bishop. I go by Izzle. You all have a wonderful night, and we'll see you next time on RGN TV.
Night, guys.
Night, man.
Good night.
I did.